It's Friday, February 19th, 2021. I want to remind everybody, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, hit that bell notification. Also, check out my Patreon channel. I'm going to be posting another video on Patreon in the next 24 to 48 hours, so check that out. But make sure, if you like this channel, that you subscribe to it and that you hit that bell notification. Quick video this evening. It's late. I just got back. Busy day. Had a lot of business to attend to. And as I was out today, I stopped for lunch over in Moreno Valley, which is about 45 minutes to an hour from my house here. And stopped over at Portillo's. For those of you in Chicago, you know Portillo's. I love Portillo's, being from Chicago. I love Chicago hot dogs, Chicago beef sandwiches. So I was in the area. I said, I'm going to stop over at Portillo's and grab some lunch. Now, I couldn't even go in and make an order for takeout. I had to go through the drive-thru. Nowhere to sit. So I didn't want to sit in the congested parking lot. So I noticed an office building about a quarter of a mile away with some umbrellas and some seating. So I took my lunch, drove over there. And when I pulled up, the entire parking lot of this office building was completely gated off. It just chain link fencing all the way around it. And the reason for that is there are so many homeless people now wandering around here in California that they don't want encampments setting up at this office building that is completely closed. And so I thought, wow, this is amazing. The whole thing is just chained off. And so I pulled over on the side of this big office complex. And I got out and I figured I'll just sit down. They had some umbrellas and some seating. Whole place is vacant, quiet, nobody there. And I had a hot dog, and of course the security guard comes out of nowhere and says I can't be here unless I have business. Well, there's absolutely no business going on here. And so, I'm respectful. I said, hey, no problem. I get it. They don't want people camping out in the parking lot. They don't want people breaking into the office building. I don't know if a bank owns it or an investment company or it's private money, but I understand. They don't want people breaking in and sleeping in these buildings or destroying them or putting graffiti all over them. So I said, hey, no problem. So I got in my car, took the rest of my lunch, and I drove across the street into a shopping center. Big parking lot. I figured I'll just finish up my lunch there. So I pull into this shopping center, and to the left of me, there's a pickup truck with 8 people literally living out of this pickup truck, 8 adult people. And they're just sitting around it, sitting in the back of it, hanging out, sleeping bags, you name it. And so that was to the left of me. Behind me was an encampment in the middle of a parking lot. Okay, I'm in the middle of this gigantic shopping center parking lot, and I've got 8 people living in a pickup truck over here. Behind me, there's an encampment with chairs, couches, and just piles of trash. And so I just, I sat there, finished up my lunch. And I just said to myself, I said, man, America looks a lot different than when I was growing up. I've never, ever saw anything like this. It is changing drastically at a record's pace. I mean, it is changing so quickly, and it's not changing for the better. The average American is struggling. The middle class is being decimated. Homeless is an epidemic. It is a crisis now in America. And look, there are many people that have drug dependency. There are many people out there that have mental disorders, but there are people out there, ladies and gentlemen, who are quite normal, who have hit bad luck, who have lost jobs, who got behind in medical payments, got behind on rent, lost the job and just never could catch back up. And this is a crisis happening not just here in California, but across America. And I'll tell you, when you see people living like this, you gotta thank God for what you have. Today, as I was having my lunch, I just thank God that, I could sit down, eat lunch, and that, I have a home to go to, I have a bed to sleep in, I have food, I have a network of friends and family, and that's another thing. When people don't have family to fall back on, these people get themselves into very, very big trouble, because unless you have friends or a good church or a family to fall back on, if you lose that job, you get way behind on the bills. It is very easy to land up being homeless. And we're now in a country that used to be paycheck to paycheck. 1, 2 paychecks away, you could be homeless. That was back in 2019. One emergency, you could be homeless, right? The medical bills start coming in, you can't pay them. You could become homeless if you don't have friends and family to fall back on. So many people judge other people. Those people have drug dependencies, or they have mental disorders and what have you. I truly believe no matter what the situation, Americans should not be living in parking lots. They should not be living in their pickup trucks. They should not be living in tents. This is absolutely getting out of control. And I have some business I'll be taking care of in LA for a couple days. I'm going to be bringing Sid with me. We're going up to LA. And while I'm up there, I'm going to show you some things that literally look like they came out of a zombie movie. And many of you, I think, are going to be shell-shocked at what is happening in Los Angeles, California, the second biggest city in America. But as I'm watching this epidemic, as I'm watching the economy completely collapse right before my very eyes, even though the stock market is at all-time highs, we're looking at Bitcoin at $56,000+. We're just looking at massive bubbles across the board. Yet I see homeless people everywhere. I see vacant buildings. I see families struggling. I see people drowning in debt. I see more retail stores closing in my area. And what I'm about to show you in Los Angeles is going to be an eye-opener. And if it can happen in Los Angeles, California, it can happen where you live also. But as all this is going on, I was reading an article today on the hedge. Top JP Morgan banker tells clients, forget about bubbles and just buy everything. Bob, I believe his last name is Bob Michel, Chief Investment Officer for JP Morgan, which manages $2.3 trillion. He says, just buy everything. The market is just going to continue to go up. And I read this. Of course, JP Morgan, the biggest manipulators of gold and silver in the entire world, also they own more precious metals, physical precious metals, than anybody in the world also. When I read articles like this, it's scary, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. And when I see what cryptocurrencies are doing, and I see Bitcoin, and God bless you if you're making money in them, I think that's a positive, no doubt. But I really worry about a majority of people who are just blindly jumping into these markets, the Robin Hooders, blindly gambling, blindly buying up all these cryptos. And I sure hope that they don't pull the bottom out. I hope they don't pull the rug out from all these people, because they're getting so many people into the stock market, so many people into cryptos. And look, it sounds like a great thing, getting out of the dollar. The dollar continues to get beat up, and people are looking for alternatives. I get it, but I'm an old school type of thinker. I'm a gold, silver, and cash guy. And look, I realize cash is on borrowed time, but you still got to have it until you can't use it. And there's going to come up, I think, a time in America where the dollar is going to lose much of its purchasing power. It's losing purchasing power on a daily basis. But right now, we still need it to function and buy things, right? But gold and silver, to me, there's no way. When I see what's happening, when I see the amount of debt creation, the amount of stimulus, Janet Yellen yelling at us that we need more stimulus to help the economy to recover, when it's going to do quite the opposite. The answer to helping the economy recover is not printing money. That is just going to do more destruction. Look at how much money we've printed to this point. Is it helping? Absolutely not. We need opportunity. We need jobs. We need to get people back to work. We need to be making things. Just making money out of thin air is not going to save America from this collapsing economy. And sooner or later, this stock market is going to get crushed. We're looking at the 30-year mortgage rates, 30-year mortgage rates now at 2.81%. They're creeping up. 10-year bond yield today, I think it peaked at 1.35. Right now, this evening, it's at 1.34%. Also, the president said at a town hall meeting on Tuesday that he's not a big supporter of forgiving student loan debt. Everybody thought that this reset's going to come. We're not going to have to pay anything back. We're not going to have to pay our credit card debt back. We're going to be forgiven of student loan debt. Everything's going to be fine because we're just not going to have to pay anything back. And I think people are living in their homes right now in forbearance. I think people are in rental properties with these moratoriums. And I think there's millions of people out there that believe they're never going to have to pay rent. They're never going to have to pay a mortgage payment. They're taking that stimulus money. They're going out. They're buying more goods at Walmart and Ross and Target, of course, made in China. Supporting China, helping to expand the middle class in China, while the middle class here is being decimated. And our only answer, our only solution, as we're running out of tools, our only solution is to print more money, create more debt, devalue the US dollar more, and just give people more money to sit at home. It's not going to be enough, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to be enough. And I think it's really going to take a toll on people mentally, just sitting at home, hoping, waiting, and praying that a check is going to arrive to save them. Most of this money is not going to you or I. Most of this money is going to go to corporations. It's going to go to banks. It's going to go to big airlines. It's going to go to other countries. It's not going to go to you or I. You and I will get the crumbs if we get anything at all. There's an article today on The Hedge, and it is titled "Wither Gold?" And it says here, money printing galore, dollar tanking, everything rallying, Bitcoin over $56,000. And why isn't gold going up? And really, why isn't silver really going up? It was up today, but gold should be multiple thousands of dollars. It should be way beyond $2,000. I think gold easily should be at $5,000 right now. I think silver easily should be at over $100. When you take in to what is going, this is all good for gold and silver. All this stimulus, all this debt, all the dollar tanking, all the uncertainty, all the unsustainability. This is all good for gold and silver, yet it's not doing what it should be doing. And again, this is just another reminder of the mass manipulation that is taking place. And look, I believe at some point they're going to put an end to a lot of these cryptos, Bitcoin being one of them. They are not going to allow competition. They really are not. And I believe that the only way that America gets out of this mess, there's only one way, and that's by going back to a gold-backed currency, a gold-backed dollar. Cryptos, in my opinion, and look, I'm not here to criticize anybody. As I've said many times, there are many people out there very awake who do not feel good about the direction that we are going in economically. They do not feel good about the future of the US dollar, and they are detaching from the dollar, looking at other alternatives like gold and silver and Bitcoin. And I understand that. My only fear is I hope they are not suckering people into these cryptocurrencies only to pull the rug out from under everybody and just crashing the entire system, bankrupting everybody, just sending everybody into poverty. Everybody is doubling down at the casino right now, ladies and gentlemen. You look at all these people in the markets, the Robin Hooders, you look at everybody just jumping into the cryptos. Look, they're just looking for anything going up and jumping on. And as long as it goes up, they're going to continue to double down. What happens if there's a massive correction in cryptos? What happens if mortgage rates continue to creep up? What happens if we saw mortgage rates on a 30-year hit 4%, what would that do to the housing market? I mean, that's not a whole lot. We're at 2.81% right now. We go up another percentage, and we're going to see some problems. Yeah, it's just really, really, really strange, ladies and gentlemen. Another article today on King World News. Alert, no gold or silver available in size in London or Zurich, Switzerland. So where is it? Where is the gold? We're seeing physical silver. I just checked this evening, SD Bullion. Eagles, 2021 Eagles are over $39. Random year Eagles, I think, are $37.52. Maple Leafs were around 33 and change, $34, $34. So the price of physical continues to hold steady, but I believe we haven't seen anything yet. I don't know where it's all going, except I do know that this economy is collapsing, and I do know just by watching what is happening with this economy and the amount of juicing of these markets, that these markets are in very, very big trouble. I think the banking industry is in very, very big trouble. Look, there is so much trouble out there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that we all better be preparing, because Texas could be coming to America, and I don't mean a snowstorm. What I do mean is an emergency, a crisis. It doesn't have to be a snowstorm. It doesn't have to be rain. It doesn't have to be a hurricane. It could be an economic crisis. We're going to wake up one morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I say this a lot, but your world's going to change instantly. And right now, I see a death by 1,000 cuts taking place right here in America with this economy and what's happening financially. But at some point, we're going to see things accelerate, and we are going to wake up one morning and we're going to be in a new world. And again, I hope and pray that, if you're doing well in cryptos, I pray that it keeps up. But I'm just an old school type of person. I have that old school mentality. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I see too many banks closed permanently. I'm seeing too many of these temporarily closings at these banks. I'm seeing too many ATMs closed down. It's getting harder and harder to get your money out of a bank. And that to me is a red flag. And that to me is a wake-up call that we better all be our own central bank. We better all rely on ourselves for our own security, our own self-sufficiency. We gotta really, really be detaching from the system as much as we can, because the system is going to collapse at some point, ladies and gentlemen, and it's very fragile right now. Look at Texas for an example. I mean, they were not prepared for. This wasn't the blizzard of '79. Okay, it was bad, but this is nothing that I didn't see in Chicago on a weekly basis. In the winter. Okay, I've been through some massive blizzards, and if you live in a cold climate area, if you're in Minnesota or Wisconsin, you know what a real bad blizzard is, a bad snowstorm. I've been in 40, 50 below zero. So this isn't new, but it was new to people in Texas, and many people were not prepared. I think 30 people have died now. What's going to happen when the pensions crash? What's going to happen when your bank shuts down? You can't access your money. What happens when you can't access your money out of a 401k? What happens if there's a massive correction in the crypto sector? And people have been pulling money out of their homes to buy cryptos, to jump into the stock market. The margin debt is insane. And this thing is very, very fragile. And if it wasn't for 0% interest rates, if it wasn't for the Fed juicing these markets, we would have crashed years ago. They can put off the inevitable. They can buy some time. But at some point, the Fed, Wall Street, and millions of Americans are going to pay the piper. God bless every one of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. Share this video. Talk to all of you soon.